I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from North Wilkes, CJ Jeffries and Mark Nelson on the front row. Richie Joplin, Michael Whiting on the second row. Mark Dantuma, David Gorman on the third row. Austin Ruskoff, Donald Double D Durant on the fourth row. Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel, and Mike Smith round out the top 10. Austin Habel starts in 11th. Blake Viken and Brandon Newby apparently not taken to the track. Both drivers were scared. Everybody lining up on the front straightaway. Pace car begins rolling. CJ Jeffries, his first ever BRR Cup race last week, pulled off the win at Indy. Qualified on the pole tonight. He is on a march up the points. Definitely going to be interesting to see if CJ can go 2 for 2 in his first race with that win. He jumped all the way up to 19th in points. Could get another big jump in the points here tonight, up into the top 10, if he can pull off a win and pick up the bonus points. 150 laps, competition caution, lap 50. They can go 120 to 130 laps on a tank of fuel. So they will only have to stop once tonight, as here we go. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air there, down and away in North Wilkesboro. Mark sent it deep into 1 and 2. Tries to take the lead out of turn 2. CJ not going to make it easy. They are 3 wide, back behind Garmin up by the wall. Back down to 2 wide as they come back down into 1 and 2. Still a battle between Mark Dantuma and Michael Whiting for 4th. CJ has taken the lead, clears Mark Nelson, and has the fastest lap so far. Mark still in second, Richie now in third. Mark Dantuma in fourth, Michael Whiting in fifth, Garmin in sixth. Keep an eye on Garmin. He's very good at these short track races, if that Ford can survive. Austin Ruskoff in 7th, Austin Abel up to 8th, Mike Smith in 9th, Double D in 10th, Nicole back in 11th. I mentioned it a few moments ago, they do have a comp caution at lap 50. They will be able to go the distance on fuel from there, but we'll have to see how the tires are doing. And will we see a little bit of a strategy change tonight? Hey, good evening, Jeff. Congratulations. Mark Dantuma finding a little bit of speed up and forth. Now has the fastest lap, as he closes back up on Richie in third. Christopher, not the broadcast, we don't, no. CJ still out front, 0.6 of a second over Mark. Richie in third, Dan Tuma in fourth, and Whiting in fifth. And both Michael Whiting and Mike Smith, the first time we have seen. Oh, Smith is loose out of 4. Ouch. We talked about it during practice. The exit of turn 4, we see a lot of drivers get out of shape. And that is what happens. See if we can take another look at this one. There's Mike coming out of turn 4, the lap before. Up on the high side, he has a little bit more grip and a lot more runoff. As he tries to fight back down on the bottom. See if we can find the replay of that incident a moment ago. Mike had been running a steady pace and closing in on the cars ahead. And there he comes through 3 and 4. And no problem that time. Goes a little bit wide through 1 and 2. In the middle of 3 and 4, back on the power, and there you see it, just steps out, just gives the inside wall a little kiss, but straightens it out, keeps it going. Great recovery by Smith. Christopher, there is no minimum iRating, buddy. CJ out front, starting to pull a gap now on Mark Nelson. Richie Joplin still right there in third. Second through about 6 plays, pretty much nose to tail. Garmin loses a little ground back in 6th. Austin Abel now in 7th, has gotten past Ruskoff in 8th. Same thing we saw CJ do last week. Just gets out front early, opens up a little bit of a gap, and then sets a steady pace. He's not pulling away a lot at the moment. Richie Joplin in third said he did not like this car and track. Oh, Mark Dantuma has a problem. He manages to save it, but now Whiting has an opening up top. Michael Whiting now goes to 4th. Garmin tries to peek to the outside. Dantuma slams the door. There is not a lot of grip out here. These guys definitely have their hands full tonight. The track temperature about as cool as it's going to get, 84 degrees. Giving this track a lot more grip than what these drivers are used to having here at North Wilkesboro. It's usually a lot hotter and a lot greasier. They still have their hands full. Jeff, I do try, buddy. Hey, good afternoon, Kenny. Richie Joplin still right on Mark's back bumper, and CJ about to be in lap traffic already. We talk about it a lot when we go to the short tracks. The lap traffic out here is definitely a deciding factor. It looked like CJ may have kissed the wall in the back straightaway as he set up into turn 3. Gets under Nicole, puts her a lap down. Michael Whiting now in 4th has lost ground on the top 3. Dan Tuma still in his bumper, and Garmin still lurks right behind. Austin Abel, Austin Ruskoff still sits 7th and 8th. CJ already looking at the back bumper of Mike Smith now. That's a bit of a surprise. CJ shoots underneath the lap car of Mike Smith. Double D just ahead in 3 and 4. As the back half of the field spreads out, CJ really starting to charge through them. Definitely going to be interesting to see how many are left on the lead lap when we hit the comp caution in about 18 laps. And remember, they will take enough fuel on that stop to go the distance to the end. Jeff, absolutely. That is always what Nicole said. Michael Whiting starting to lose some ground. Dan Tuma has moved to 4th. Garmy now to 5th. Whiting has slipped back to 6th. Austin Ruskoff, Austin Abel have been battling it out a little bit back behind. Ruskoff now to 7th. Abel slipping back into 8th. Double D still holding on to 9th. Mike Smith in 10th. As CJ Jeffries just continues to run around here with an 1/8 of a second lead. He is not trying to pull away. Mark Nelson in 2nd, not getting any closer. Richie Joplin in 3rd, now losing a little bit of ground on Nelson. We're noting Richie Joplin comes into tonight 3rd in points behind Mark Dantuma and Mark Nelson. But at the moment, Richie is ahead of Dantuma. Just over 20 points separate Mark Dantuma and Richie Joplin. That could change in the blink of an eye. 10 laps to the comp caution. I think we're going to see a little bit of a shake-up here. We'll see everybody on pit road for tires and fuel. We'll see at least one driver get a lap back. But then the strategy does change. Do the drivers stretch it to the end 100 laps? If they were seeing a lot of cautions, it wouldn't be a big deal, but 100 laps on these tires, these drivers are not going to be happy, and these cars are not going to want to turn. Lap time's already starting to fall off. CJ's fastest lap, 18.73. Last time by, 19.61, almost a second a lap slower. Caution is out for the first time. Austin Habel and Donald Double D Durant's involved. Let's see what happened to bring out the caution. This may end up being the comp caution as well. We'll wait for an update. Austin Ruskov trying to, Abel is trying to go by the lap car of Double D. Ruskov clears the traffic. Abel comes up, just finds Double D, and they both end up in the outside wall. And everybody is on pit road. Waiting on confirmation from race control. This likely is going to be our comp caution. CJ Jeffries does win the race off pit road. Looks like all the drivers took 4 tires and fuel. And this will be the competition caution. Don't worry, Gerald. I've learned to translate you years ago, buddy. I got you. Folks, don't forget, right after this race, we go to Vegas. SMR X Series takes on Las Vegas tonight, and the big change, the Dominator, Cody Burke, after getting his 5th win last week, has to start tail into the field tonight. Can he get through the field and pull off another win? And here we go, green flag back in the air. CJ, as I'm battling right behind Rich, he tries to take second. The longer they are side by side, the better it is for CJ, but Richie clears into second. Meanwhile, a lot of battling back behind. Everybody lines up, coming out of turn 4 for the moment. Mark Dantuma on the move underneath David Gorman. Oh, Dantuma loose, saves it. Mark lost several spots, but managed to hold on to it. look at this. As Mark D'Antuma looks to the bottom going into turn 3. And then on the power out of 4, the back end just starts stepping out. Locks him up, straightens the car out, keeps going, only loses a couple of spots. A great recovery. And the caution is back out. Austin Ruskov, no surprise, he is going to pit road. Looks like Gourmets may have had an issue. Back the replay up just a hair. There's David Gourmets off into 1 and 2. And again, back in, stepping out on the power. Almost got Ruskov, manages to save it. 360 through the grass, straightens it out, keeps her going. Wow. Oh, no, Jeff, I think it's a very, very good thing we cannot share pictures in the comments. Hey, good evening, Songbird. It is worth noting that all the cars that have had problems coming out of the turns and on the power tonight have been Fords. The Chevys have had no problems. All right, folks, here we go. Pace car about to drop back in. He dives to pit road. Green flag back in the air. CJ gets a good run, but Richie goes for the crossover out of 2. CJ just carries the momentum. Now it's a battle back behind. D'Antuma trying to make something happen up top. Michael Whiting back in the fight, and here comes Mike Smith. Mike had dropped back outside the top 10 early on, but got his lap back and is back in the fight, trying to get a run on Whiting. Richie staying right on CJ's bumper this time. Mark Nelson back in 3rd, Mark D'Antuma in 4th, Michael Whiting in 5th, Mike Smith in 6th, Austin Ruskov in 7th, Austin Abel still holding on to the lead lap in 8th, great save by him. Nicole Creasel currently in 9th, Double D in 10th, and it looks like Gourmets is officially out of the race. Looked like his Ford touched the grass, exploded, and was no longer functional. Ford's gonna Ford. Nope, Jeff, everybody pretty much on equal tires at the moment. Austin Ruskoff, we saw him hit pit road under that caution just a moment ago. He just topped off on fuel. They had more than enough fuel to go the distance, but we know how Austin is, constantly topping off on fuel. He didn't take any tires. Interesting strategy. We'll see how it plays out. Sometimes the extra weight of the additional fuel helps the car handling. As the fuel burns off, the back end of the car does get lighter, can cause the car to push a little bit as Ruskoff takes 6 from Smith. CJ out front, Richie's still right on his bumper. They have pulled a 1.2 second gap on Mark Nelson. And keep an eye on this one. Mark is known for making the move late in the run. And they have a lot of laps left. Folks, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, especially on YouTube. We've got a bunch of racing shorts out there. We've got a bunch of trucking YouTube shorts out there. Just a lot of shorts coming out. We've put out extra over the last few weeks. You guys definitely have a lot to go watch on YouTube, and I can promise you, you're having a bad day, go watch a few, you'll be laughing, you'll be fine. Heck, I made all the shorts and I go watch them and get a chuckle. Also, don't forget to come back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Jones BS Racing is back, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, Tuesday night, dirt racing is back as Retreads and Coast to Coast Racing League are here Tuesday night. We'll have a triple header with dirt and 2 asphalt races. New group of drivers, probably some familiar names, especially on the dirt side, and a lot of great racing to come. Wednesday night, of course, C12 Motorsports Retro Truck Series is back. We've seen a bunch of good racing out of that. And, of course, Thursday night, Home Motorsports is back as well. Plus, throughout the week, don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, the HTSAI Community Convoy, the Unicorn, will be leading the convoy. Get ready for some chaos there. And who knows what will happen later in the week. Jeff, I'm just surprised your dog wears clothes, dude. CJ trying to put some space between him and Richie. Oh, Jeff, I get it. Never mind. Mark Nelson now about 1.4 seconds back. Dan Tuma has started to recover. He is about 3/4 of a second behind Nelson and closing in. Michael Whiting still right there with him. Austin Ruskoff about 1.4 seconds back, but he is gaining on Whiting at the moment. Mike Smith still holds on to 7th. Austin Abel in 8th. Nicole Kriesel in 9th. And Double D back in 10th. CJ is starting to pull away from Richie, but lap traffic is ahead. Nicole Creasel just ahead. Richie now 1 second back. Jeff, they actually will not need to pit again. Fuel load was about 120 to 130 laps, so everybody knew it could go green and go to the finish from the called caution. We may not see another pit stop here tonight. And let's take a few laps on board with our points leader, Mark Nelson, as he goes downhill into 1 and 2. You'll notice, much like Five Flags, this track is not flat. They're uphill on the back straightaway into 3 and 4. And then downhill into turns 1 and 2. Five Flags, same thing, but the exact opposite. The backstretch is downhill. It does change the angle. It does change the way you enter and exit the corner. And it definitely can make things a challenge here at North Wilkesboro. Mark trying to close that gap up on Drifty. Richie Joplin in second. Now you have to be careful. That little bit of curbing in turn 3 and 4 could be fatal if they touch it. Mark Dantuma has gone to Mark Nelson's back bumper. Mark versus Mark, and whoa, they got close. Dantuma peeks underneath as they come out of 4, looks down to the inside into 1. Nelson able to use that eye line to carry the momentum out of the turn. Dantuma wearing him down, gets to the inside. Still side by side, the battle for third. That is allowing Richie Joplin to get away just a little bit, but the biggest winner from this battle is CJ Jeffries out front. Dantuma almost pulls even down the back straightaway. Nelson able to go deeper into the turn. Dantuma somehow makes it stick. A big run through 3 and 4. Lap traffic about to come into play. Double D goes high, but a little too late. Dantuma able to utilize him as a pick, and Dantuma now to third. CJ Jeffries, meanwhile, out for a Sunday cruise, a 3-second lead over Richie. CJ started out front, Jeff, and he has just continued to run away. Double D is on pit road. We saw him lose another lap a moment ago. Might be in for a tire change here to see if he can pick up some ground late in this one. Lap times are starting to fall off as tires wear. CJ Jeffries' fastest lap tonight, 18.73. Last time by 19.73. They have lost about a second a lap on these tires after about 45 laps. Durant is back out on track in 10th. And he is on fresh tires, only a couple laps behind Nicole. Question is, can he just got by her once. Will he be able to run her down again and pick up another position? CJ is definitely dominating. Jeff, this is CJ's second race with BRR. He usually runs with SMR on Sunday nights. And he started popping up in C12 on Wednesdays as well. CJ did pull off the win last week at Indy. And now over 3.5 second lead with just under 50 laps to go. If this thing stays green, CJ may go 2 for 2 in BRR competition. Kevin, wasn't much chaos, buddy. How are you doing tonight? Richie Joplin back in second, now has Dan Tuma on the bumper. Mark Nelson not far behind in fourth. Michael Whiting still right there in fifth. Austin Ruskoff in sixth. Austin Abel in seventh. Mike Smith just went a lap down in eighth. Nicole Creasel in ninth. Double D in 10th. Double D on those fresh tires is picking up a lot of cars. He is currently the fastest car on track at the moment. He is way behind, but I can promise you on fresh tires, he is having a lot of fun. Riding along with him, and you'll see the difference here as they come out of turn 2. And he just able to go deeper into 3 and 4. He picks the throttle up out of turn 4 even earlier. We've got, looks like, Nicole in the wall. It is definitely a fun time having the freshest tires on track. out front has Double D right behind. Donald may very well get one of his laps back before it's all said and done. CJ doing a very impressive job keeping the fresh tires behind him. Nicole has come to pit road. Richie Joplin in second. Now, whoa, Dan Tuma got quite a run in the middle of 3 and 4. Had to check up to not get into Richie's bumper. Richie, Mark Dan Tuma, Mark Nelson, Michael Whiting, all right there together. It's a battle from second on back. Mark definitely all over the back bumper of Richie, and he obviously has had a little bit more speed in the middle of the turn and off. He just needs an opening to get a run here. Mark Nelson back and forth, Michael Whiting in fifth. Worth noting with Mark Nelson back and forth at the moment. The two cars directly ahead of him are both points contenders, and here goes Dan Tuma. Looked like he had a run out of turn 2. Couldn't quite get it to work that time. He tried to get a run on the high side out of turn 2 to set up for the inside into turn 3. Just couldn't get the momentum. Now he's going to go to the outside in 3 and 4. Still not enough. Now Nelson to his bumper. Lap car of Austin Abel just ahead could come into play. Mark Dan Tuma still trying to find a way to set up on Richie. Meanwhile, Nelson right behind trying to set up on Dan Tuma. Austin Ruskoff back in 6th place, about 7.7 seconds back from Michael Whiting. Austin Abel currently in 8th. Mike Smith now in Austin Abel in 7th, Mike Smith in 8th. Double D now to 9th. Nicole back on track in 10th. CJ, meanwhile, has well over a full straightaway lead. Just over 25 laps to go. CJ just needs this to stay green for another 27 laps. Mark Nelson and Michael Whiting have lost a little ground as they come by Austin Abel. They're going to have to run Richie and Dan Tuma back down. Nelson quickly closing back up on Dan Tuma though. A little bit of blinking from Mark Dan Tuma did here before the race. There are storms around Dan Tuma. He's going to the inside. Mark's got a big run in 1 and 2. And a drag race down the back straightaway into turn 3. Mark is a nose ahead. Side by side down the front straightaway, back into 1 and 2. Mark Nelson, Michael Whiting, letting him battle it out. Dan Tuma pulls ahead, out of turn 4, he'll clear. Mark Dan Tuma now to second. Richie Joplin now in third. Richie Joplin now trying to hold on to fourth. Mark Nelson in fifth. Michael Whiting in sixth. Mark Dantuma now in second. He is 6.5 seconds behind the leader. He is going to need a miracle to battle for the win here with 20 to go. Mark Nelson now starting to peak on the inside on Richie Joplin. Michael Whiting looks to the high side. Definitely could be an interesting battle between these three drivers. Michael Whiting can pass you where you least expect it, how you least expect to be passed. If Richie and Nelson start battling, Michael Whiting might just sneak by. As these three are sorting it out, Dan Tuma's pulling away just a little bit. He is closing the gap on CJ, but he is 6.9 seconds back. Oh, Mark, a big... No, that was Richie that had a big blink. Remember, Richie came into tonight third in points. He definitely does not want to lose connection, especially with the points leader right behind him. Mark Nelson came into tonight with about a 45-point lead. But as they run now, that gap would close. Mark Dantuma has lost more ground to the leader. He was gaining on him for a couple laps, but has now lost quite a bit of ground. 7.4 seconds back is CJ Jeffries just out for a Sunday cruise. If CJ pulls off the win here and then can pull off the win at Vegas, that would be the first time we have ever seen somebody sweep the night on a Sunday night. It'll be interesting to see if he can get it done at Vegas here shortly. Mark Nelson still trying to find a way past Rick. Caution, he is out! Oh, what a... Wow! Caution is out. Nicole Creasel involved. This changes everything. Wow. And CJ Jeffries is going to lead the field in. They are all going to take tires. Let's see what happened. There's Nicole coming out of turn 4 on the power. The back end just steps out. She smacks the wall hard. She ends up towing it in, but not before the caution is triggered. Well, that just shook things up in a very, very big way, folks. CJ was out front with a huge lead. Now everybody is on fresh tires. Everybody will stack up side by side. Lights go out on the pace car. Well, hold your breath, folks. It's going to be a dogfight. Less than 10 to go. Pace car dives in. Green flag is in the air. 7 laps to go. CJ shoots to the front, but Mark Nelson sends it through 1 and 2. Mark Dantuma peeking back underneath for second. This is what CJ needed. Mark versus Mark. There's contact. Dantuma to second. Michael Whiting now back up in the fight. CJ already opening up almost a half-second lead. Dantuma pushing it though. Mark Nelson got a little squirrely out of turn 4, holds on to it. Richie Joplin has gone past Michael Whiting into 4th. CJ still out front. Dantuma in 2nd. Didn't look like there was a little contact between Dantuma and... Oh, Mark Nelson's around. Caution is out. We'll give a green-white checkered. Well, you could tell Mark Nelson was ascending it. Wow. And there's Mark Nelson. Looks to the inside on Dantuma. Just pushes a little too hard. Gets sideways. Ends up facing the wrong way. He did get it turned around and going again. But man, what a setback. Austin Ruskoff has come to pit road. I don't know why. Maybe he'll take tires. I don't know. Nope. He took fuel for some odd reason. CJ Jeffries out front. Dantuma in 2nd. Richie in 3rd. Michael Whiting in 4th. Mark Nelson now back in 5th. Austin Ruskoff in 6th. Austin Abel back on the lead lap in 7th. CJ led every single lap. He's led every single lap so far, actually, but he led like 80 green flag laps, continued pulling away throughout the entirety of that 80 laps. And then with less than 15 laps to go, after a long green flag run, the cautions fly. And now we go to a green-white checkered where anything could happen. I have a very sneaking suspicion we saw a little bit of body contact on the last restart between Dan Tuma and Nelson. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of door banging on this one. Hold your breath, folks. It's about to get crazy. Pace car is in. Green is back in the air. 2 to go in North Wilkesboro. CJ leads them off into 1. Richie underneath Dan Tuma for 2nd. Mark Nelson attacking back behind Dan Tuma. Mike Smith has had a problem. No caution. White flag one more time around. Richie way up the track. CJ has the lead and has some breathing room. Richie goes too deep. CJ Jeffries wins at North Wilkesboro. Mark Dantuma coming home in 2nd. Richie comes home in 3rd. But the most impressive thing, CJ Jeffries set the fastest lap of the night on the final lap. Wow. What a wild turn of events at North Wilkesboro from a clean green flag race till late race contact brings the caution out. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Richie. Richie, it was obvious you were pushing it hard on that last restart.
Oh, yeah, I was going for the win, man. Checkers or wreckers, bring back the steering wheel, no car at all.
Well, you could definitely tell through 3 and 4 on the last lap because you were pushing it hard and you were headed toward the wall there for a minute.
Oh, yeah, I was going for it just to see what happened, see if I can maybe make somebody mess up or something, and didn't work out. I crashed at the end, but still got a 3rd place.
Hey, come home on the podium, nothing to complain about. Now on to Vegas. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Mark Dantuma coming home in 2nd. And folks, don't forget, we still have more racing to come. Mark, it's been a constant source of discussion as to what the right spelling of Mark is. Is it with a C or with a K?
It's absolutely with a C. Anybody that does it with a K is like Major League Psycho.
So, is that why you doored him on that second to last restart?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
I kind of figured. I couldn't believe. I was really surprised to see a little bit of contact there. You guys were obviously pushing those cars to the absolute limit in a track with so little grip, especially coming out of 3 and 4. Man, you guys were not lifting for anything.
Yeah, it was pretty much lift and lose, so you didn't really have a choice, unfortunately.
Well, you definitely put on one heck of a show out there tonight. Now on to Vegas. Congratulations, buddy.
All right, thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner 2 weeks in a row, the rookie CJ Jeffries. CJ, you started the league late, but you made your name known as soon as you got here. 2 weeks in the league, 2 wins, and more impressively, you set the fastest lap of the night on the last lap.
Did I actually set the fastest lap?
Yes.
Is that an extra point?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's my 3rd week here with these guys. Texas went horribly. I was so bad at Texas. So I'm glad I was able to pick up the win at Indy last week, and then I put some work in this week to just be competitive more than anything. I don't want to do something if I'm not going to be halfway decent at it. So I'm really glad that it didn't get too crazy there at the end for me. I was really hoping it would run green all the way, though. That first that first set of last cautions or whatever really broke my heart. But
I can imagine.
no, this was awesome.
You had an almost 8-second lead when that caution came out with about 15 to go. That had to have been a gut punch.
It was, man. I mean, I had Donnie behind me, and he was just like, he was having fun learning, and I was just talking to him about how I approach these deals. It was a good time, and I didn't have any pressure from behind really, so it was good. So I think I ran a fairly perfect session all around. I'm happy. I am trying to make my way into this whole playoff deal. I don't know how that's going to work, if I'm even eligible, but we'll find out.
You're definitely making it. You're definitely well on your way, and now you have a chance to pull off something nobody else has pulled off. You had the chance last week, didn't work out, but you go to Vegas. Can you pull off the Sunday sweep tonight?
I hope so. I did some practice with the Xfinity car there, and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I might not do too good, but I'm gonna give it my best.
Well, man, good luck. Cody Burke starts from the back tonight, so you at least have some help there.
Yeah, I'll take every bit of advantage I can get.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, 2 in a row. Great job, CJ.
Hey, thank you so much, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, CJ Jeffries gets the win, but now can he pull off the Sunday sweep? We're going to find out here in just a few moments. Stick around, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you here in a few moments from Las Vegas. It's time to go racing at Vegas with the SMR X Series, and man, we are in for a treat tonight. Stick around, everybody.